Just before I moved here, I was diagnosed with cancer. I was given a second chance to life. I think being a mother changed my perspective. I was like, I have to do everything that I had planned.
What are some of the things that you wanted to do and you were like, now I have to do them now?
We all know who the winner is. I think we all know. The winner of the 2023 Hanga Pitchfest competition, Loopa.
I had never seen myself being around agriculture. That really has defined my adulthood, especially my 20s.
Yeah. And you met the president.
Oh my God. I was like, am I here really? And we're lucky to be here because Ramdan is helping a lot of people that are trying to do stuff like that, especially with the impact.
What happens after that and how did you get into even thinking about doing entrepreneurship?
So I actually met someone.
Cynthia, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Congratulations on winning the Hanga Pitchfest 2023. How does that feel?
Surreal.
Yeah.
That's the word. Surreal, excited, and anxious.
I mean, did you think you had a chance to win? Like when you were, because all of us have been in pitching competitions, and most of the time when you are looking at the other opponents, you're like, oh my God, like that might be a cool technology, that might be a cool company, they might win, Like, what was going on in your head when you were like, okay, top 5?
I think as soon as we knew about top 5, we felt like we had a chance.
Yeah.
But me being anxious in front of people, it was basically, we felt that I'm competing against myself because I had to deliver and make people understand what Loopa is about, because we believe in the impact it can have. Of course, the competition was there, and we knew they have great stuff also. So it was about, being in the moment and enjoying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have something that I've been thinking about, all these years pitching, which is, you have to kind of like be competing with yourself, right? Do not look at a competition. I remember there was this one time I was about to pitch and I was selected for like the finals in Saudi Arabia. And they basically, they gave me a list of the finalists, right? And then I went to bed. I looked at them, I looked at their names, just went to bed. And my friend was like, are you not going to research what they're doing? And I was like, so what am I going to use that information for, right? I'm like, either way, I'm not going to change what they're doing. I'm not going to change what I'm doing to make it better. Like, it's just going to make me even more anxious. Like, let me just go there, give it my best, and that's it. And we ended up winning, so.
Congrats on that. I think it's because for us it was in the same, so we were in different fields. Some were in healthcare, ed tech, different industries. So really it was about us like being there, being present, talking about the impact and what we want to achieve, and do it in a way that's understandable, and also being able to not faint.
Yeah. That's the most important part.
Right. So it was all about us being present.
Yeah. And you met the president. How did that feel?
Oh my God. I think on the pictures it shows it. I was like, am I here really? It's really exciting.
Anyway, so let's take a step back to take me through, how did you grow up? Let's start there.
Oh, my childhood?
Yes.
I would say I grew up in a very loving family. I'm the oldest of 6 siblings. I think the number one thing I learned as a kid was being responsible of my siblings, for sure. It has created this thing of being able to lead and solve little problems, figure out ways to do things, you're the oldest. The parents are you're responsible for your siblings. So yeah, I grew up in a decent family. Went to good schools. My primary, I went to La Colombia. I was a French speaker. I don't know where my French went.
Same.
And high school, I went to Lycée de Kigali. And from my uni, I started in KIST, at KIST. I was going to do electronics and electrical engineering. Then I left to the US to do architecture. Unfortunately, I did not finish that. Life happened.
Yeah.
I have 2 kids. I think that really has defined my adulthood, especially my 20s. I'm not going to disclose how old I am right now. But yeah, I have a 9-year-old and a 4-year-old, 2 girls, amazing girls. But really, my childhood was very decent. I think my parents did an amazing job, to be honest.
So what do you do after that?
So I did start working for quite some time. I got into the beauty industry, and I did. So when I moved back in Rwanda in 2019, December, and just before I moved here, I was diagnosed with cancer, Hodgkin lymphoma. That's how they call it. Luckily, I'm in remission. And after I was done with my chemo, I joined WICode. WICode was where you could actually learn software development. And I was very excited because I had coding and being able to build websites and my favorite is JavaScript and being able to, I like to, how can I say it, solve problems. Yeah. So JavaScript is more, how the functionality of things. So that was very exciting. And I think that's what opened doors for me here. I was able to get into communication, being able to join different companies that would do different stuff. Yeah.
I want to touch on the point you mentioned there. When you got diagnosed with cancer, and thank God you are
here.
Yes. There are these moments that happen in your life, and you're like, they're either going to change my perspective going forward. They're going to give me a second chance. I think that's what we were talking about earlier.
Right.
How was that experience for you? And what would you say you learned from that experience?
I think in my life, there's 2 things. Just maybe if I start with the first one, I think being a mother was the number one thing that changed my perspective, because you have to be selfless when you're a mother. And that has changed my ways of living and being able to give more than you can give yourself, but also remembering to fill your own cup. And then the second, what I learned from the cancer journey that I had, was I was given a second chance to life, and I could not put things that I had planned way before, my visions, stuff that I envisioned as a kid or as a grown up. I couldn't put it off anymore. I was like, I have to do everything that I had planned. I had promised myself, if I'm okay, I'm going to do everything that I promised I'm going to do. So yeah, it has not putting off things, taking leap of faith, it pays off.
Yeah. What are some of the things that you wanted to do and you're like, now I have to do them now?
Entrepreneurship. Being able to do something bigger than myself has been one of the main goals. Yeah. When I was a kid, I thought I was going to have an orphanage. But I've always wanted to do things that would impact people beyond my own self.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if it's from being the older sister.
Yeah.
But yeah, I see the sequence now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And before you got into entrepreneurship, you built a career in the beauty industry, mostly in the operations side of things.
Right.
I love operators, as I believe that they are the backbone of any company. If they're not there, if the operations managers not around at the office, you will notice a lot of things will not go, smoothly.
Right.
So can you tell me a little bit about your journey being an operator in these companies? What were some of the skills that you were learning?
I think one of the main one was being able to, I don't know if I should say it, but like you're able to manage people, because you want to move things and you can't do everything by yourself. So you need to be able to make friends, but also get things done. So be able to, connect with different people from different backgrounds and still let them do what they're supposed to do in their own way, but have a goal. I think has been one of the things that I've learned in the past 10 years. And it's working for now. Yeah. It's helping. Yeah.
Yeah. Would you say those are the skills to be a great operator? Is there more to it?
Yeah. You have to be able to execute.
Yeah.
You have to plan, execute. Especially you have to be able to execute what you plan. So I think that's what operations is about. But ways to do that and simplify it and be able to create standards of operations of if you're not there, things can still run. So those are the few things I've learned along the way. Yeah. But I'm still learning.
Yeah. So now you're in Rwanda.
Yeah.
You started going through WIB. What happens after that, and how did you get into even thinking about doing entrepreneurship? And actually taking the step.
Right. So I actually met someone, a good friend, I would say. So I was telling him, like the way we're talking right now, just having a decent conversation. I was like, I really want to do something, especially in entrepreneurship. And he was like, I actually know a place that you could be able to fit, and you can actually strive in there. So he's like, just apply to Jasiri and see if they can. It's a bit intense to get there, but if you get in there, I think you have a chance to, an entry point where you can start. Yeah. So I did apply, and actually applied the same month I was told I was in remission. Yeah, it was in August 2022. And I applied. I went through a series of, it's a whole application that you have to do for like a few months. And December 2022, that's when I was given an email congratulating me that I got in. So we started what they call Jasiri Talent Investor in January this year. So what this did was this is where I was able to meet my co-founders. But even before I met my co-founders, they actually teach you how to look at, you want to be able to build something that's not just, you're not pushing down the throat of people, but like you actually answering a problem, a need that's out there. So we did a series of things like system thinking, understanding the problem, being married to the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, really. So that was a few things I did before we were even able to have Loopa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely I'm quite familiar with Jasiri and the program. I think it's, we're seeing a lot of cool companies. I think I have a few friends who've gone through the program, building solutions. Definitely really cool stuff coming out of there. So tell me about the problem that you guys discovered.
Right.
And educate me a little bit about that.
Sure. I would try to find the best words to use for this one. But so when we were approaching farmers, and because we are in agriculture, there's a few things that we were able to notice before we even started doing research. First, we noticed the amount of waste that's out there. If you go to landfills, it's not only the plastics or these things we think, there's organic waste. And even in Kigali, if you just look at how much waste, organic waste, or amount of food that's wasted, it's just ridiculous. So that was the first angle we looked at. Then we went to the farmer, and then we realized they were so reliant on inorganic fertilizer. And what it does is it actually, over time, it degrades the soil. So what this does over time, it means the quality of produce they produce is like it diminishes. So you'll see the soil becomes acidic. So like you use more of this organic. I wish you guys will see how it looks like for people that don't know. It's like pills that you're literally putting in the soil. Yeah. The good thing about them is it gives immediate nutrients to the soil. But over time, it degrades it. So it sits in the water, it kills healthy microorganisms that are in the soil, and the list goes on.
Yeah.
So we were like, there's a problem of organic waste. There's a problem of not enough organic fertilizer. Like, how can we link the two? Then we did research. At first, we wanted to do black soldier fly, which is the...
What is that?
So black soldier flies, it's basically, it's like these flies, it creates maggots, and these maggots eat the waste, the organic waste that we produce in homes or agriculture byproduct. It would eat it, and then it turns it to fertilizer. And then they become like protein for animals. But we realized it was not going to do the job that we wanted, especially on the fertilizer side.
Yeah.
So we did find another alternative that actually was working better, which is vermicomposting. So here we use earthworms. Earthworms, which turn the organic waste that we have into like a really healthy and amazing fertilizer that can be an alternative to the inorganic that's being provided. Yeah. So that's what we're doing.
So these farmers, why are they doing it that way? Is it because it's cheaper? Is it because that's the only thing they know? Is it a problem of education? What's the problem really there?
I think it's all the above. It's what's on the market. What's on the market is there's an availability of this inorganic like DAP, urea, and NPKs. So you're able to access it through subsidies for small-scale farmers, or even if you're not a small-scale farmer, you're able to access it from agrotechs. Yeah. So there's not enough organic fertilizer on the market at the moment to be able to supply to everyone who actually need to be to want to do the sustainable agriculture practices. So there's also that element of for people that are able to do it, they need to have maybe they're accessing manure, chicken manure, which is not expensive, but it lacks a few things. It doesn't have enough nutrients. So most people, if they do have it, they have to combine it. With the inorganic. Hence again, that cycle of dependency and degrading the soil even more. Yeah.
So take me through the process of how you guys are exactly solving those problems, because I feel like there's also a bit of education that needs to be there, because the farmers is like, I don't really care. I just need the results right now. Like the long-term problems we'll solve those problems when we get there. Right. So take me through the process of you building up the first, let's say, MVP.
Right. So I'll maybe even take you through like how we make it. So we basically work right now with the Nyamata market. That's where our facility is, close to the market. So we sort the waste there. So basically we don't want like plastic or any other things that are not organic. We sort the waste. We have our bins that are placed there, and we transport it to the facility. So we take it through a process of shredding, so it becomes small particles. And then from there, we're able to decompose it even more through composting processes. Then from there, we feed it to worms. So after a month, we have 2 products. So we have a worm cast, and then we have a worm tea. So what I could say, of course, the education part is going to happen, is educating farmers how to use our product. But it won't be hard because you're able to see results. It doesn't take too long to see results. So we tried our product with demo farms and landscapers, just to be sure if what we're actually solving is actually solving the problem that's there. But it's going to require farmers to understand that when you practice sustainable agriculture, it doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't happen overnight, but the result is going to show, especially in the yield that you have. There's a certain percentage of yield that enhance over time that we're going to count on a lot of R&D and then working with cooperatives, local government, because what we're answering is this climate change and people not being able to produce enough. And also the quality of produce that people have. You want to be able, if you go to market, knowing that something that you're eating is healthy, not full of stuff that are inorganic. So we addressing all these things. So it's going to take working with different cooperatives, local leaders, agronomists to show what the results can provide to the farm.
When you look at the results and you're comparing to the way they're currently operating, is it in terms of size? Is it in terms of specific, quality of the actual produce? And what are you focusing on? So are there specific crops that you're looking at, or just looking at anything that can be grown?
So at the moment, because we're still very new on the market, we are putting a lot of effort in R&D. Because for us to see, we have to collect a lot of data. And for that to happen, we're able to test with different crops to see which one can work better with our product or what type of recommendation we have to give to different farmers. Right now, we are focusing on horticulture, which has been, because vermicomposting has been a science that's been used in other countries for quite some time. And there's few things we already know. We just have to test it with our soil and what's happening here. So what we want to do the most is test different crops, especially the major crops that we have here, to see the difference. We've tried a few, but because we are still very new, we don't want to see 40% enhance of crop yield and all that, because we have to back this with the science and real data. But on the size, yes. So we're looking at different things, size and the amount of yield that you can have. Because also the liquid fertilizer that we have, it helps fighting insects. So this helps. It acts like a pesticide. So this helps more of not actually wasting a lot of wastage that can happen. Like, let's say a lot of post-harvest or damaged crops. Yeah.
I mean, I've heard a few companies who are trying to tackle the same problem that you guys are doing. And I mean, all of them are doing from chicken, I don't know, what is it?
Manure.
Yes, vegan manure. I'm not very knowledgeable about agriculture. I just go to the market and I buy a mango. But I think it's an industry that has a lot of potential, right? Because, again, the statistics, show it. All of us rely on food. Me and my founder friends, we always say, if you ever do any business in food, you're never gonna, and not succeed, right? Because everybody's always gonna be your customer. So a couple of people are trying to do something in this industry. What would you say is gonna set you guys apart from these competitors, right? And also, are you looking at this being a scalable solution? For example, are you looking at markets where there's not enough, let's say, fertilizers, organic ones, and so how are you looking in terms of becoming a Pan-African solution, let's say?
I think that has been the vision even when we started. My team and my co-founders, the main thing we've looked at was we want to, 63% of people here and more depend on agriculture here in Rwanda, one way or another. You're either a farmer or you work for a farm or you have other related activities from farming. And when we looked at tackling just one side of the whole chain, which is the input, especially the fertilizer. This is not just affecting Rwanda. It's affecting the whole world, especially if you look at the climate change. And there's a place where I read, and then we said we are 60 harvests away, for going. Yeah, and it's very sad because we are degrading the soil. And the main thing we're trying to do, we want to address this circular loop of food, of how we consume, and it's not only in Rwanda. So what set us apart, and when we're doing research, one of the main things we could hear why people like inorganic is the consistency of the quality they get. So people that produce organic fertilizer, they're not consistent in what they deliver. And the main thing, hence why the tech we're including, which will help us stay consistent in what we how we produce, hence what we deliver at the end. We want to make sure if we delivered this person our fertilizer, it has this much nutrients, it has this and that, and it's not going to go down if next time they come. It has to stay the same or even better.
Yeah.
So that's the main thing that will set us apart. Another element of scaling, we're looking at different models on how to scale. But the main thing right now we want to have a strong foundation here and being able to satisfy the market. Then we're looking at the next different countries, talking about Kenya, Uganda, the whole East Africa. Then we go global.
Yeah.
But before we get there, there's different model we want to use, either the IKEA model, like where you're actually selling the whole, you're building a whole kit. And instead of us, having huge production centers in different countries, but how can we empower people to be able to do it themselves? Yeah, so there's different ways we're looking at.
Yeah.
But all that is going to require a lot of collaboration, a lot of R&D. And we're lucky to be here because Rwanda is helping a lot of people that are trying to do stuff like that, especially with the impact that we want to achieve. Yeah.
Oh, you didn't tell me about the tech component. Can you tell me a little bit?
Yes, I did not tell you. It's an exciting one. So we want to include IoT technology. So along the way, what we do, we test different parameters. For you to have a great composting or vermicompost, there's few things you have to taste. You taste temperature, you have to taste pH levels, the moisture content, and the other few parameters. That helps you know like the next move. Let's say you have to turn, you have to add water. It's like the irrigation system, just to tell you how like that goes. And for us, we started as doing it manually because that's what we could do as a startup and with the capital that we had. But we thought of how can we better this where we don't waste what we are producing. Because along the way, if you don't act on a specific parameter, you might lose, the ones might die. They might not reproduce enough. They might not eat well. Because we want them to eat so they can actually give us that warm cat.
Yeah.
And they have to eat faster, or they have to be in the perfect environmental condition for that to happen. So right now what we are building is a whole system that can help us do that without doing it manually. So we can be able to act on the data or the information that we're getting accordingly. Yeah. So it's exciting.
Very interesting, actually.
Yeah.
You come from the, let's say, beauty industry as an operator in that sector.
Right.
How did you end up deciding to work on agriculture?
It's funny. We used to make fun when we met with my co-founders. I used to talk about how I have no clue what happened in agriculture. But look at me now. I'm actually a farmer.
Exactly.
I'm a farmer. On the side note of being part of Loopa, I'm actually a farmer.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Before
yeah, like it was in between Loopa and then the like I wanted to experience with the farmer that's experience, and then I started falling in love with the process. So it gives us a bit leverage because I know what the farmer has to go through to get what and how much and how. Yeah, that part of the operation side.
Yeah.
So it's like it's not research, but I get to fall in love with the whole process. So how I ended up there, it's really funny because I had never seen myself being around agriculture. But again, it comes back to what's the impact we want to provide and achieve in the next 10, 20 years. And that sector is where you can actually make a huge impact. Coming back to if you look at the numbers of how many people are involved in agriculture. So yeah, we looked at the impact is bigger than ourselves, and I was willing to take the leap of faith.
Yeah.
And my team was also. So it's not like I'm by myself.
Yeah.
So I have an amazing team with me of co-founders. So we thought this would be the area that we could make a huge impact.
Yeah. How many co-founders do you have?
So I have 2. So we are 3 altogether. Ghislain de Cousy and Dennis Muguta.
Okay.
Yeah.
How would your co-founders describe you in 3 words?
We like to sit down sometimes and talk about that. What we appreciate about each other.
That's nice.
Right? It's not always nice, but that's the good part. I would say, I think they say I'm a go-getter. I think that's the number one thing they say. Anything I put my mind to, I think I will do. I go above and beyond to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have an example of when you did that?
Oh, yeah. I packed my bags while having cancer, and I came home with my 2 kids. Even taking the leap of faith of joining Jasiri, because you have to go through a 3-month residential where I had to leave my kids and go stay in Yamata just to do this. Yeah, so I think that's just a small example. Maybe people can relate.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I go above and beyond that.
Yeah. Okay, so that's 1 go-getter. What are the other 2?
I think that's the main one I know because they keep telling me this. I don't know the rest. Maybe we should ask them.
Yeah, we should bring them on.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah. So tell me about your Jasiri experience, right? So you get selected to get into Jasiri. How was that experience for you as someone who's thinking about, I want to get into entrepreneurship? And how did that shape you into, what you're working on today, but also how you think about impact as well?
Oh my God, one word. Growth. So you are put in a place where you are stretched beyond what you think you're capable of. You are uncomfortable because you have your ways of thinking, and you're put in a place where you are with 49 other people that want to be entrepreneurs, but they think differently than you. And you are challenged to think, to go out of the box. I think it has shaped me in a way I've had, like you have a few insecurities that you've had along the way. Oh, I'm not qualified to do this. I'm not. But for me, it was more of, I was stretched and I saw what I could actually do. And I see potential in myself. So, and my team, of course. But I was stressed and I was uncomfortable, and it put me in a place where I could actually think outside the box.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was the most challenging part, like specifically?
Oh, so I think the number one thing. So you work on different problems first. You have to find a problem. You go on research. You have to understand the market. So by the 3rd month, everything we had worked on. Because we went through healthcare, went through informal sector. Yeah. We cruised through like crazy things. And by the 3rd month, So you have to, each month you have to pitch. And when we pitched the second time, when we went to pitch, we knew what we were pitching was not going to work. Because the things we had sent on the market, the answers we wanted to understand on the market, we were not going to build anything to answer that.
Yeah.
So I think that was a revelation where you're like, okay, you can't actually build something and then throw it under, throw it to people just to consume because you're not answering anything.
Yeah.
That realization was really hit hard because you can understand why people fail at stuff they build, and it's actually amazing, but it can't be used by anyone. And we were going through the last month, and we didn't have a problem. We didn't have a problem. We didn't have a solution. We didn't have nothing. So we're just sitting there. We're like, okay, what are we doing now? But because we had a team that really wanted to get it done, which again, I come back to, it's amazing to have a team, especially when you want to have a bigger impact, bigger than yourself. A team can make or break you. So for me, cruising the last month through residential, that's how we call it, it showed me my capability, and it showed me what my team could be capable of if we really want it. So you have to put in the work. You have to get out there, talk to people, understand the market, understand the need, the pain points, put it through a whole system thinking, understand the impact, the gaps, who can be a competitor, what are the regulations. So there's a whole, it was a journey, to be honest.
Yeah. Do you feel like you found your calling with Loopa?
I would say I did, in a way that it's part of the journey. It's part of the bigger journey. So it's like an element that would push us forward. I think one of the main things I did find when I was going through Jasiri, even now, is my capability of leadership. And I had never thought I was going to be in a place where I'm leading.
Yeah.
Even talking about now, I'm the CEO of Loopa.
Yeah.
I had never seen myself like that. I thought I was the person in the background making things move.
Yeah.
And not the face of anything.
Yeah.
So I think it's a journey that's going to propel us, not just me, to another great thing.
Yeah. Earlier, before this, we were talking about you've been an employee before.
Oh.
You've got a taste of entrepreneurship. Would you ever go back?
No.
Why is that?
I think I've always had this thing about solving things. And sometimes depending on who you work for, they can give you room to actually be creative, find ways of working that are not specifically designed to put you in a box. And for me, I've always been working for people that put me in a certain box to do things a certain way, even if I did find ways to go around. But I really enjoy the space I'm in right now, where I'm actually sitting somewhere with my team and we are brainstorming from scratch and then testing without going to someone, can we please do this and then that?
Yeah.
But rather I'm putting in input and I can actually see it, come to life. So that is something I don't want. I would rather not let go. Yeah, and I think I'm in the space. I'm where I should be right now.
I always ask people this question, which is, do you think it's for everyone? Somebody's looking at you and they're seeing your picture with the president and seeing you win this huge amount of money. And they're like, oh my God, I need to quit my job as well and, venture into this thing. What would you say to that person who's considering it by watching you?
Oh, no, it's not for everyone. And I'm not saying this because I'm discouraging people to go in entrepreneurship, but the picture people saw me, they didn't see that the no sleeping. Yeah. They didn't see the crying, the sweat, the headaches, sickness. I was gonna the pitch before that. If you people know how before we got into the five people that were supposed to pitch, we pitched before that, the 25. And I was preparing to pitch that day, and I had, I don't remember what I ate, so I had food poisoning. So, and I was supposed to be pitching. So I was pitching the whole morning. Thank God I was scheduled around 2 p.m. to pitch. And the whole morning I was in the restroom, and I was like, how am I going to be in front of people? And I just have to run to the restroom. But these are things people don't see.
Yeah.
And it's okay to work for someone because we have different callings. As long as you're fulfilling the bigger picture that you have for yourself. Because it's not for the weak to be an entrepreneur. Everything falls on you. You have to be the one answering. You have to be the one responsible for salary. If there's no money, what do you do? So there's so many elements to lead a company or a venture or being able to one responsible for what happens that not everyone can actually be able to do, and it's okay.
Yeah.
It's very okay because we succeed in different ways. Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
What should we expect in 2024 from Loopa?
Oh, amazing stuff. Yeah, amazing. So for us, one of the main challenge we had was to be able to scale our production. And especially after winning Hanga Pitch, this is just a small door that's propelling us to be able to actually do it quickly. Because there's that element of what we are producing, it's quality, but how can we get it to go to quantity and actually be cheap so people that really deserve to use it can actually do that. And that's for us being able to do economy of scale. And this is just what 2024 is going to be about.
Yeah. Exciting stuff.
Amazing stuff.
Yeah. Where's Cynthia when she's not in the field?
Oh, she's being a mom.
Yeah.
She's being a mom. Like I told you, I have a 9-year-old. Her name is Zion, and Majesty, who's 4. So I'm being the mother that I would want to be when I have the time or when I'm not sleepy.
Yeah.
But I like different activities with my kids. So weekends are a bit of sleep if I can, which is not happening a lot right now. But yeah, I'm trying to be the best mother I can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what would you be doing if you're not an entrepreneur?
That's I don't think I'll be doing anything else. That's my calling. For now, like I told you, I've been given the second chance to life, and I'm planning to use it to the max. That does not mean I'm not gonna give myself some grace. I like a few things traveling. I haven't had a chance to travel in the past year, but I'm hoping to include a few me time to fill my cup.
Yeah.
But I like to network. I like to be around people. I'm hoping this will actually be an exciting journey.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, Cynthia, thank you very much for coming on the podcast, and congratulations for all the work and all the success that you have with Loopa. We're excited to see what you guys have in store for us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.
See you soon.
If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to hit that like button, share, and subscribe to our channel. See you next time.